One question I get asked a lot is, how do I start my preparation for the GRE? And I understand that it can be extremely confusing. When you're first starting out, you have no idea what to do because there's so many resources out there. There's so many different websites, there's so many different companies. You don't know when to take your exam, how to take your exam, and so on. Okay. So in this video, I'm going to teach you guys the 3 simple steps that you can follow to get started in your GRE preparation. Okay. The first thing you do is to get a basic generic GRE textbook. Okay, so the most recommended textbook for the GRE is the ETS official guide to the GRE general test. So this is the most recommended, by me, because this is a book by ETS, the people who actually conduct the examination. So they give the best introduction to the exam, and they give you questions that are exactly like what's going to be present in the examination. Okay, so you don't have to get this book. There are a ton of other books that sort of serve like a similar purpose, right? For example, Magoosh has their own book, Princeton Review, Barron, they each have their own book, and I've done a review for each of these books as well, right? Again, I'm going to give you guys links in the description if you want to go get the book or watch the review and so on. So all of these books, what they do is they essentially introduce you to the examination. So if you are someone who has no idea about the exam, don't know what's going to be tested, don't know what the structure is, don't know how the scoring works, and you basically have no idea, these books are going to introduce you to it, right? They're going to introduce you to the examination. They're going to show you what kind of questions are there. They're going to give you some simple strategies that you can apply for those questions. They're going to give you practice tests so you understand where you are and so on, right? So this is the very basic step. This is like the first step that every student needs to follow when it comes to preparing for the GRE, okay? The second step is to get practice, okay? So when you get this first book, right? So because these books are, like I said, they're basic generic books. So what they do is they introduce you to the examination, but they don't give you a lot of practice, right? These books are often quite thin. They don't have a lot of practice questions. In some cases, they may have 15, 20, 25 questions for each question type, and that is not enough, right? When you are preparing for the GRE, you're going to need a lot more practice, okay? So for practice, I always recommend the Manhattan 5-pound book of GRE practice questions. I've used this book and it's fantastic, and I always recommend it to all of my students, basically whoever's asking, okay? So Manhattan is not the only place where you can get GRE practice. Of course, Princeton Review also has their own GRE practice problem set, so that's also a decent resource. ETS also has 2 different books. They have the quantitative reasoning practice question book, verbal reasoning practice question book. So those books are also great. I prefer the Manhattan because it's one book that you can buy, and it has questions from both quant and verbal, and it's really solid in terms of it sort of splits all the questions chapter wise, and I just really love it. It's a great book, right? So that's the second step to get this book, right? So once you start with the basic generic book that introduces you to the examination, and then you have another book for practice questions, the third step is to get strategy. So for strategy, what you need to do is attend my 6 Secrets to Dominate Your GRE Preparation webinar. Now I know what you're thinking, Sachin, are you seriously plugging your own webinar in this instructional video? Yes, I am, right? And the reason why I'm doing it is because I am confident that it will help you sort of grasp the initial strategies that you need in order to prepare well for the GRE exam, right? So a lot of the basic strategies will be given to you by textbooks, but those strategies will not be enough for you to be able to score really well in the GRE exam, okay? For example, if you are someone who is generally weak at verbal, then you're probably not going to have a great time, using these resources. Because you're weak at verbal, you need to build your foundation, right? Or if you're someone who is not good at math, or if you're out of touch with math, right? Then of course, using these textbooks is going to help you a little, but in a lot of cases, you're going to feel lost. So you need to figure out how to sort of cover that weakness, right? And for all these things and more is, why I have the strategy webinar. Of course, if you want to register for this webinar, I'm going to leave a link in the description if you want to go and check it out. So first step is to get the basic fundamentals GRE textbook, right? The ETS official guide to GRE exam is recommended, but of course you can use Barron's, Magoosh, Princeton Review. It doesn't really matter, okay? Second step is to get the practice questions, right? So Manhattan 5-pound is the recommended resource for practice questions. There's also other resources out there. If you finish the 5-pound, you want to get another textbook, there's so many other resources out there, you don't have to worry about that. And the third thing is to attend my strategy webinar so that you're equipped with the right strategies in order to prepare for your examination, okay? So those are the 3 simple steps for you to start your GRE preparation. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below and I'll try to answer all of your questions. Thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a like if this video helped you in any way, and subscribe for more graduate program and GRE related content. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.